Hey guys!
Hello!
So this week I'm going to build this thing with Addie.
Yep, and we're actually going to show you how you can build it. It's a DIY cigar box amplifier with our Amplify Me kit, our Toymakers Amplify Me kit, which you can find on tindy.com/stores/TYMKRS. And
We just ordered 100 more boards.
yes. So there's a ton more boards coming, so I know we just sold out because, well, a lot of people like them. But please back order them and we will get them out to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, and then you guys can build beautiful stuff like this. And this is not hard to do.
Nope.
This is a cigar box. This is a 2x4.
Yes.
And everything else, well, there's some junk box speakers. Literally. Those are from our junk box.
The battery comes with the kit. The board comes with the kit. The pot comes with the kit.
Yeah, so all you need is a box and some junk speakers, which I'm sure you have somewhere.
Yep.
Alright, let's get to it. Addie's going to teach you guys how to put the kit together.
Alright. Listen carefully. Alright, so here we have a LM386 amplifier kit. You guys have seen it quite a few times and for different reasons. But one video we haven't actually done is how to assemble the kit, and with it the ever useful soldering tips that we have. So I will show you guys what you get in a kit and also how I solder one of these up. And so, okay, each kit you get, of course, the board, you get the LM386 chip, as well as a dip socket to place it into. DIP stands for DIP, or dual inline package. So yeah, that's just what it is. And then we have a resistor, and that's going to go into R2. We have a 220 microfarad cap, and that's going to be C3. We have a 10 microfarad cap, and that is going to go between pins 1 and 8 on the LM386 to increase its gain, and that goes right here. And then this is 0.1 microfarads, and that's going to be C2. And what else is there? We have the potentiometer, and that's like the volume control, and that goes into here, facing outwards. And then here is the 1/4-inch jack, and that's going to go right here. And that's your input, essentially. And then I believe there's also the battery clip, and a battery is also provided for your convenience. Okay, so first thing I have going on is my soldering iron is set to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I usually like pretty much anything between 350 and 450. I've got really thin solder here, a key, and it's 0.38 millimeters, 60/40. It just has a lower melting point, so it becomes liquid more easily. And then I also have a much thicker gauge, and I believe this one is, well, this doesn't say, 1.3, I think, 1.3 millimeters. Yeah, so let's see, the first one we will do, what I usually like to do is actually put in all the pieces first and then solder everything up. Alright, so this is the 220, and this one is C3. And the minus side on a capacitor, so these are known as electrolytic capacitors, and electrolytic capacitors have polarity. So there's a plus side and a minus side. And the plus side is known as the anode, the minus side is known as the cathode. And the way you know how the way you know the cathode side, sorry, is the minus signs all along here. And for C3, we want that to face the right. C1, again, it's another electrolytic, and the negative side is going to face downwards. Okay. I guess we can put in our chip too. So if you, right now I'm going to be putting in this chip so that there's no dip socket. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I can flush mount the potentiometer. If you use the dip socket with the chip, you won't be able to flush mount the potentiometer. But some folks don't actually care about that because they may just take wires going from these prongs to this to the solder connections here so that they can put these knobs anywhere they want. But for these purposes. Okay, and so you see also on the silk screen there's a little graphic here. That is to correspond with the nub that is located on the chip. Like so. So we'll put that in. There we go. Okay, so we've got the LM386 chip in, and then C2, so it doesn't matter if I were to put it facing forward or facing back, that wouldn't really matter. Okay, and then here we have the resistor. I'm just going to take these end pieces of paper off, and then I like to bend these first, like so, before I put them in. Just makes it easier. Voila. Alright. And I think that's it. Let's double check. We've got 10 UF, 220 UF, 0.1 UF, 10 ohms, LM386 chip. Alright. And what I just want to do is I want to rest the tip on the pad as well as the leg of the component, and then I want to touch the solder to the pad. So touch it to the pad and to the leg of the component. Sometimes putting the solder on the tip at the very base helps it well, obviously melt a little bit easier because it's directly to the next to the heat, but that's not always necessary. If you're heating the pad up adequately, then you should be able to just use the pad as what's melting the solder. Alright, and I'm gonna clean these up by clipping these wires off, and I like to use just a extra set of nail clippers we have. Woo! Alright, and then so the last things I have to do are the legs here. I'm going to clean my soldering iron tip, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Okay. Alright, and the next thing I'm going to do is solder on this potentiometer. And this one I'm actually going to use the larger gauge stuff because, well, these pads are a little larger and I don't want to spend that much time soldering these up. And just enough space here for the caps, which is what we want. Okay. And now we're going to put in the 1/4 inch jack. The 1/4 inch jack faces like so. That way, if you wanted to panel mount it, you could put, you know, your piece of wood or whatever you're mounting it to right along this axis here. Alright, so this portion, let's make sure that it's even. Okay, I'm going to be using the big solder again. Okay. Alright, so then the last thing we've got to include is the battery clip. And that, I think I'll solder from the top down. So the plus is towards you, and that's the red. That's like red hot. And then black ground. Okay. And there we go. An LM386 Amplify Me kit, and it's capable of taking any audio input essentially and making it louder. You do of course have to solder in a speaker, which is not provided, but I have here 2 holes for your solder for your speaker wires, and we find that driving 8 ohm speakers with this amplifier works best, and so we're going to show you guys an example of that.
I got a bone to pick with you. I ain't got lines to throw at you. And now you're saying I'm wrong, but you must not know. I'm new at this. I need you to let this go. I'm just a starting place, you see. This has to work with you and me. And now you're saying I'm wrong, but you must not know. I'm new at this. I need you to let this go. You're keeping me from moving on. You're stopping me from going strong. And now you're saying I'm wrong, but you must not know. I'm new at this. I need you to let this go.
Alright, so using a lot of sanding, files, needle files, and hard work, double grease. Got this sanded down, and Whisker made this platform using the router. So that's a 2x4, got sanded like crazy, and then using that router bit, it looks smashing.
No one left and I don't feel bereft. The empty streets are going to my head. Killing zombies in a dress. Apocalypse is such a mess. Get up, get pretty, get gone, get good or get dead. I keep my fear in its cage where it belongs. Can't let it out, I'm running all night long. I keep my fear in its cage where it belongs. Can't let it out, I'm running all night long. I've got no one left and I don't feel bereft. The empty streets are going to my head. Killing zombies in a dress. Apocalypse is such a mess. Get up, get pretty, get gone, get good or get dead. I keep got no one left to cage where it don't feel bereft. The empty streets are going to my head all night long. Killing zombies in a dress. Apocalypse is such a mess. Get up, get ready, get gone, get good, get all night long. I keep got no one left to cage where it don't feel bereft. The empty streets are going to my head all night long. Killing zombies in a dress. Apocalypse is such a mess. Get up, get ready, get gone, get good, get all night long.
We post videos all the time, so don't forget to subscribe. And follow us on Twitter at TYMKRS.